Alright, so already in the last couple of days there have been a few updates. I have some corrections to my last video, some pretty bad math problems, but I will correct them here. And we heard back from Space Ape, so I have some stuff to update you on that as well. Alright, so the first thing is that it looks like the Warden statues are not only increasing the damage and hit points of watchtowers, but also seems to be regenerating the health of the watchtowers on some people's bases. According to Space Ape, this is not intended, and they will be fixing it, but unfortunately it won't go in until the next update, which might be the end of September. I also wanted to talk a little bit more about this upgrade path of your statues. The way it is now, it's pretty straightforward if you have the same rarity. So let's say you already have one bronze statue, you have 0 out of 900 experience. Well, if you have another bronze statue, it should give you another 100, so that'd be 100 out of 900 experience. Now where it gets tricky is if you start leveling up the rarity. So let's say you have a silver statue and you got a bronze statue, it'll give you 100 experience, so that's 100 out of 3000. But if you get them in the opposite order, let's say you started with a bronze and then you get a silver, well, then it just completely resets. It's still just 0 out of 3000 for that silver. Well, this, according to them, is by current design. This is how it works right now. So let's say you have a bronze statue, and then you get 2 more. That will take you up to 200. Then here you see with the silver, it resets to 0. Now I want to take into account the amount of work and cost it took to get one of these statues in the last Farce of Nature event. Now I'm estimating kind of high. This was on the high end of the bronze statues. It cost the person about $392, at least according to my estimates. And for the high end of the silver, it cost them $579. So is it really fair to the person who worked really hard on the first 3 statues to basically only get the equivalent of 1 silver statue, where they could have spent only $579, but according to this, they would have spent upwards of about $1,755 for that same statue? Alright, so I'm going to take away the costs here, since I just wanted to address the fact that people are spending time and money to get each individual statue, and it should be merited. So my suggested design is that, let's say you have the first 3 statues and then you get the silver. I'm saying that this particular scenario should have given you 300 experience for that next silver statue. So where did I get that 300 number? I'm basically saying that it should be the equivalent of the total number of statues that you have upgraded. So in my opinion, I think that if you started with a silver and then you got 3 bronze, it would give you 300 experience. So I feel like it should work in the opposite direction as well. There shouldn't be a penalty for having accumulated previous statues. And I did speak to a Space Ape rep about this, and they did agree that this doesn't necessarily seem very fair. So I believe in the next event, they're going to be introducing a different type of statues that this situation wouldn't happen. So yeah, so hopefully that'll appear in the next update, where things will be a little bit more fair in the upgrade path. Now this next situation is an egregious error on my part. I had thought that you would need 9 times 10 times 20, which is where I got the 1,800 bronze statues to get an Obsidian, and that's the wrong way to look at it. How I should have looked at it was not that you had to upgrade each individual gold one, but once you get up to silver, then it would take 40 more bronze to get to the next level, and then 180 more bronze to upgrade that 1 gold statue. And for those of you who are interested, here's the spreadsheet that I used in order to get the numbers that I got. So with the bronze low and high, silver low and high, and then the gold, I did account for the free battle stones that you get every day. Here I put 48 if you're assuming 8 hours of sleep. And then I used the assumption that you would use a few fertility vials, and so I threw in a few there as well. And then I made the assumption that this is how many gem packs you'd have to buy in order to make up for the difference of the battle stones that you did not get naturally accumulated throughout the day. And then for good measure, I threw in that you would at least have to buy 1 Yugumo bundle. I know some people bought more, but I just estimated on the low end that you needed just 1 Yugumo bundle. So here I've updated the numbers of the quantity that you need for each level. I did make a mistake and didn't account for the 1 original one that you would need. So if you started with 1, that one is 0, and then you need 9 more, so that's how I got the 10. And then if you were to only do silvers, no bronze, it would cost 11 statues to get up to gold. And if you were to do golds, it would take 21, because you need the 1 original and then 20 more to get up to Obsidian. So I've also estimated some of the costs as well from the last video here. So if you were to have, based on the Farce of Nature event alone, off of that 1 event, if you were to upgrade the same statue, same bronze statue every time, and you only got 1 per month, it would take you 18.3 years. And these are the costs on the low and high end, and then all the way up to gold here. And you can see here that the gold is pretty much the same as my last video, but just wanted to update the bronze and silver here. It wasn't as catastrophic, but it's still pretty bad. Okay, so let's do another theoretical example. Let's say we don't want to wait 18.3 years. What if we wanted an obsidian within 4 months? How many statues would it take with each level, with each rarity, to get an obsidian within 4 months? So if it's the same exact statue, and if you got bronze, you would need 55 bronze statues of the same statue every month to get an obsidian within 4 months. You would need 18 silver statues, and you would need 6 gold statues of the same exact one every month in order to have the obsidian of that one statue. So this is my plea to Space Ape, that if you really do want us to have an obsidian, or some of us to have an obsidian within 4 months, this is generally the amount of statues that would need to drop each month for the players that are working towards getting them. Now here's the kicker. You can only win statues by placing high in special events. Well, so far it doesn't seem like anytime soon they're going to be hosting 6 or more special events, unless they're going to be having a way for you to win more than one statue in one event. So what do we have to look forward to? In the last Twitch stream on September 17th, Space Ape said that they would not make an event like this again. We promise. That's a relief. They also teased that the next event would happen around the weekend of October 2nd. Can't confirm that for sure, but that was generally the time frame. That it'll be more casual gameplay, not an intense 5-day sprint. So hopefully, I think what they're saying is that it's not going to be a gem fest. And then they're going to be exploring other tech aside from the existing leaderboard tech. I think they were relying on that existing way in order to award statues, but they're going to be looking at more diplomatic ways at getting statues out to everybody. And then it's going to be a new lightning ancient that's introduced. Isabeau de P? I don't know how to say that. It's introduced for the French market. And the event will give a bonus for all lightning ancients. So you don't have to have Isabeau in order to get the bonus. Any lightning ancient is going to work, which is going to be a little bit more democratic. That's really nice. And then there's going to be a bonus of using your existing boosts. So all these people that are complaining, I have too many mana hunters or too many raiders, I believe that there's going to be some kind of mechanism that's going to allow for getting points for using those boosts. So if you're stockpiling them right now because you're not using them, or if you just want to stockpile them on purpose for this event, save them up. And they did say that there were going to be opportunities to get lots more statues. Let's hope that that's true. Let's make it rain. They also did a summary and a sneak peek of Malice, and I will be covering that in a separate video so that this video doesn't get too long. So be sure to stay tuned, watch, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate all the love, all the comments, all the help when I'm making mistakes. I really like it when you guys tell me I made a mistake because then I can make them better. So thanks again, guys. Really appreciate everything. Stay tuned.